with exercises 13 through 18. So I'm going to do the first one. We have to match the graph of the function to the left with the graph of the derivatives to the right. So I'm going to do number 13. Remember that derivatives is the slope of the tangent lines. So if I look at number 13, what you have to notice is that on number 13, all the points on this side of x, my lines, my lines are all decreasing. So my slopes should be negative. So for all x that are less than 0, my slopes, which we're calling the derivative graph, f prime of x, has to be also, well, I should put, as x is increasing, I'm sorry, as x is increasing, f prime of x should be less than 0. So then once I get to 0, I have a line that's horizontal. So at x equals 0, my slope, which is f prime of x, should be equal to 0. Because remember, that's the slope of that tangent line. Now, once my x's on the right-hand side of 0, so that's all x greater than 0. I should have kept this right. I had that right. All x less than 0, f prime of x is less than 0, so it's negative. So all x that are greater than 0 is all x on the right hand side. Notice that those lines are increasing. Those tangent lines are slanted up. So therefore their slopes, which is f prime of x, should be greater than 0. So when x is less than 0, f prime of x is less than 0. At x equals 0, f prime of x is equal to 0. And at all x greater than 0, uh, my slope is positive. F prime of x is greater than 0. So let me put this back in PC mode. If I look, let's look at answer choice A. Well, A is showing at 0, I have a slope of 0. But remember, when x is less than 0, my f prime of x have to also be less than 0. Well, I have this little hump piece right here. We're showing that little piece is above the x-axis, so that's greater than 0. So that's positive right there. So I know answer choice A does not reflect the derivative of 13. So now let's go back to PC mode and let's look at B. If I look at B, answer choice B at 0 is not showing a slope at 0. So therefore answer choice B is not my answer choice. Let's go to C. At C, answer choice C. Answer choice C, at x equals 0, I'm seeing the slope of 0. So far it's working. When when x is less than 0, f prime of x has to be less than 0 as well. Well, if you look at this particular graph, it's showing that all of this piece down here is negative. All of that is negative. So far it's working. Now if I look at where x is greater than 0, that's on the right hand side, my derivative, my slope, should also be greater than 0. Well, that's also going on around here. So therefore it looks like answer choice C matches with number 13. So remember, if I look at the graph, let's go back. If I look at the graph of 13, 13, that's a parabola, right? So this is a quadratic function. Well, the derivative, we found out from that derivative sheet that we did the other day that the derivative of parabolas should be linear equations. And that's what we have for answer choice C. So that's what you have to do for 13 through, what is that, 18. I believe it was 18. It said 18, but you only have 13, 14, 15, and 16.